Hello and welcome back. It was one of those slow, easy Sundays. The kind where you don't really have a plan, but you are craving something comforting. And for me, that craving could only mean one thing: a proper Indian dinner. So I picked up a few essentials, came back home, and walked straight into my kitchen, already imagining all the flavors I wanted to bring together. I started with making some fresh hung curd. This is going to be the base for the starter, and I was planning to prepare Afghani Paneer Tikka tonight. While the curd was setting, I took out some Govindavog rice. This rice has such a beautiful aroma that makes any sweet dish feel extra special. So if you haven't tried it before, do try making your kheer or payasam with it. You will really taste the difference. I think it is also available as chini gura rice in the local Indian stores. I wake up from the sunshine on my face. Sunday shopping always feels a little incomplete without a bunch of fresh flowers. Today I picked up these gorgeous pink tulips. They're in season right now, and I love how they instantly brighten up the space. Yesterday was supposed to be quiet. At the supermarket, I also spotted fresh cauliflower, and I instantly knew this had to be our sabji for the day. So I decided to make a simple, comforting aloo gobi but with a little restaurant style twist. Then I simply cut the cauliflower into thin florets and sliced the potatoes, soaking everything in water just to clean it well. I also soaked some kesar in cold milk for the sweet dish. I was planning to make phirni tonight and some bamboo skewers in water for the tikkas. Now, whenever I'm hosting or cooking something a little special, or even preparing meals in larger quantities, I almost always reach for my Cosori Turbo Tower air fryer. It's a 10.8-liter dual basket air fryer, and honestly, this one appliance can completely change the way you cook. It's perfect for bulk cooking, for bigger families, or even when you want to make multiple dishes at the same time, as it comes with two baskets. The larger base basket has 6.2-liter capacity and a stainless steel roasting rack, which I'll be using for the tikkas today. And the top basket has a 4.6-liter capacity, which is a total game changer. Have you ever noticed that restaurant-style aloo gobi always tastes a bit different from the homemade version? And that's because they usually fry the potatoes and cauliflower before adding them to the masala. But instead of deep frying, I'm going to air fry them today. I simply coated the cauliflower florets and the sliced potatoes with a little oil and salt, making sure everything is nicely coated so they stay moist while air frying. Then I placed them into the separate baskets of the air fryer. Since their cooking time is slightly different, I'm air frying the cauliflower at 180 degrees for about 10 minutes and the potatoes at 190 degrees for around 10 to 12 minutes, just until they're perfectly cooked and lightly crisp. And that's the best part. You can cook two different recipes at two different temperatures simultaneously in the Cosori Turbo Tower, which is such a time saver. All the details about the Cosori air fryer along with the ordering information are in the description box, so make sure you take a look. While everything was coming together in the kitchen, I moved over to the dining area to give it a little refresh. I took out this table cover that I have had for years. It used to be on my old dining table, but ever since we got this table, I rarely use covers anymore. But today, for a change, I felt like bringing it back as it also happened to match the cushion covers perfectly. Honestly, you don't always need to buy something new. Sometimes just rearranging a few things, adding a plant, or lighting a warm candle can completely change the mood. And just then it started lashing outside. So the soft candlelight and the cozy setup felt even more perfect for the evening ahead. Back in the kitchen, the milk had come to a boil and the rice was perfectly soaked. I blended the rice lightly, making sure it did not turn into a smooth paste. You want that slightly grainy texture for the perfect firni, just like you would for kheer. And meanwhile, the potatoes and cauliflower were ready, beautifully golden, slightly crisp, exactly how you want them. Next, I move on to preparing the marinade for the tikkas. In a bowl, I added hunkered along with some cashew paste. I had used around 14 to 15 whole cashews. To this, I added 2 tablespoons of fresh cream, 1 tablespoon of ginger garlic paste, and a mix of spices: coriander powder, cumin powder, black salt, chaat masala, and a little black pepper. I also added some kasuri methi, just lightly crushed to release all its flavor. Then I mixed everything really well. This step is important as you want a smooth, creamy marinade that coats everything evenly and gives that authentic richness. By this time, the firni was almost done, so I added around 2 tablespoons of elaichi powder along with the soaked kesar milk. I also used some condensed milk along with a bit of sugar to enhance the richness and sweetness. You can adjust this depending on how sweet you like it. And coming back to the marinade, once everything was well combined, I added a little mustard oil and adjusted the salt. And now comes my favorite part, giving it that smoky flavor. I placed a small piece of hot charcoal in a stainless steel bowl, added a bit of ghee over it, and covered it immediately, letting all the smoke infuse into the marinade. It's such a simple trick, but it gives you that beautiful tandoori style flavor at home. To finish off the firni, I added about 2 tablespoons of kera water and it instantly elevates the flavor. While the marinade was resting, I quickly prepped the veggies. Dice the capsicum into even cubes. This really helps give that proper look and ensures everything cooks evenly on the skewers. And I also cut the onions in 4 halves, separating the layers so they thread easily on the skewers.
When we were young, running from all things at once, without thinking twice. And I knew it would catch up, and that we would be the ones left behind.
Then I added the paneer and vegetables in the marinade, coating everything well and let it rest for at least an hour so all the flavors could soak in. I also prepared a batch of chicken tikka just the same way using the same marinade.
Gotta stay here for some time.
By now the firni had cooled and thickened beautifully. Traditionally, it's served in clay pots, which really enhance both the flavor and the presentation. But if you don't have those, you can absolutely use regular bowls. Just make sure to chill it in the fridge for a few hours to get that perfect thick consistency. I finished it up with some chopped pistachios, dry fruits, and a little edible silver leaf as garnish, and it looked absolutely gorgeous.
From the dark, the stories I
If you're enjoying this video, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It will mean a lot.
on this road that I am on, I gotta stay here for some time.
For the main course, I started with a simple dal tadka Used around 1 cup of tur dal and a quarter cup of masoor dal. Added some salt, ghee, basic spices and let it cook in the pressure cooker for around 3 whistles in medium heat. Along with the dal and aloo gobi, I also wanted something classic. So I made a simple dhaba style jeera rice. I soaked basmati rice for about 30 minutes. Then, in a pot of boiling water, I added salt and oil and cooked the rice until it was just around 60% done. It's important not to overcook it as it will continue to cook with the steam. Now, coming back to the tikka. Once everything was nicely marinated, it was time to assemble. I threaded the paneer, capsicum, and onion into skewers, alternating them to get that perfect balance and a beautiful restaurant style look.
I know that you are having a hard time.
Then place the skewers onto the roasting rack of the air fryer and everything fit in so neatly. Cook them at 180 degrees for about 10 minutes, brushing some oil until the edges were slightly charred and everything was perfectly cooked. Next, I started preparing the base gravy masala. And here is a little shortcut I used today. Made one single masala base that works for both the aloo gobi and the dal tadka. So in a pan I sauteed some onion until soft, added ginger garlic paste and then went in chopped tomatoes and salt. I let them cook slowly until everything turned soft and well combined. And in the meantime, I prepared the jeera rice. Just heated some ghee in a pot and added cumin seeds, curry leaves, a couple of green chilies, and the basmati rice along with salt and gently mixed everything, making sure the grain stayed separated and fluffy.
It's gonna be alright.
You can always top it up with a little extra ghee and finely chopped fresh coriander. Around the same time, the paneer tikkas were perfectly done in the air fryer. And this is honestly my favorite part of using the Cosori Turbo Tower air fryer. The Turbo Blaze technology ensures everything cooks so evenly with that perfect balance of crispiness and moisture. Also, I simply love how it allows you to cook multiple things at once without any compromise. For example, the chicken tikkas were roasting in the bottom basket, while the top basket was perfect for quickly crisping up some masala papad. Once the base masala was ready, I added all the basic spices and finished it with a drizzle of ghee. For the dal tadka, I used a simple but very effective trick of double tadka, which is often used by chefs in restaurants. In a separate pan, I heated ghee and added finely chopped garlic, cumin seeds, and dried red chilies. To this, I added a big spoon of the prepared masala along with Kashmiri red chili powder. Then I poured in the boiled dal, and as it simmered, everything came together beautifully into that classic comforting dal tadka texture. And a final drizzle of ghee and some freshly chopped coriander on top finished it perfectly. At the same time, I added the air fried aloo and gobi into the gravy and gently mixed everything together. I let it steam on low heat for few minutes so it could absorb all the flavors. The chicken tikkas were also done by now, perfectly cooked and lightly charred at the edges. And by this point, the kitchen felt alive with aroma. Warm spices, smoky tikkas, buttery dal, and that comforting smell of a full homemade Indian feast. I plated all the dishes in my copper based stainless steel dinnerware set, which instantly added that authentic restaurant style feel to the whole setup. And with just a little effort, the same simple Sunday meal started feeling like a special dining experience. This is what I love the most, taking everyday cooking and turning it into something a little more meaningful, a little more beautiful. because sometimes it's not just about the food, it's about how you present it and how you slow down and enjoy the moment. One by one, I arranged the aloo gobi, dal tadka, jeera rice, paneer, and chicken tikka onto the table, carefully creating a beautiful spread. And suddenly, the entire meal felt like a cozy little celebration at home. I hope you enjoyed watching this Sunday dinner come together as much as I enjoyed making it. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join me for more cozy kitchen moments. I will see you very soon in the next one. Till then, bye bye. Take care. Happy homemaking.